Hello, and welcome to the Elevated Itinerary. This is a space where luxury meets intention, and every journey is curated to inspire. My name is Deidre McCann, also known as Dee Dee, and I'm an attorney, an author, a filmmaker, a fashion monger, and a world traveler. And I am the founder of this global lifestyle brand. So whether you're into fashion, food, travel, or an empowered living, this is your passport to an unapologetic, elevated life. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, hit that like button and subscribe. Follow me as I share secrets and little-known habits of the elite and well-connected. And I will show you how you too can create an exclusive luxury lifestyle. Okay, since this is our first episode of the Elevated Itinerary, we're going to begin at the beginning. And how many of you out there think you know where the beginning is? Where does elevation begin? Put it in the comments. Oh, wait. Okay, if any of you said with self, you're right. It begins with self. It's a mindset. So that actually is the most important part of elevation, in my opinion. And I say that when elevating, you should always do for you. And taking care of yourself is not selfish. It's self-love. You know, a lot of people say, oh, I can't be focused on me, and especially as women, a lot of times we do for everybody else. We take care of the kids. We take care of the husband. We take care of the family members. We take care of friends. We feel like we have to do for everybody else. And sometimes we get lost in the sauce. And, a high-class, classy woman in an elevated lifestyle, she knows that she has to take care of herself. There's a saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. So we have to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves. And so there's small things that we can do to take care of ourselves. There are big things that we can do. We all like the big things, but there's small things we can do. Like what you wear when you walking around the house. Just because you're not going anywhere that day, don't mean you drag out of the house, out of the bed, and you have on your old t-shirt and some sweats and sit around the house like that all day. Oh, get up and get dressed. Get yourself, fix yourself up, even not because you're doing it for anybody else, but do it for yourself. And you notice, because inevitably, if you have to, say you just put on a t-shirt and some sweats, and nothing wrong with t-shirt and sweats. I mean, you can do that in a classic way too. But I'm talking about something this old t-shirt or whatever, and you have to run there, and I'm gonna run right here. I just have to pick up some milk right quick, and inevitably, you run into somebody and you're like, I was hoping that I didn't see anybody I know. And that's happened to me before. And it's like, oh gosh, I was hoping I didn't see anybody I know. And I learned my lesson. You look good. Because if you're looking good for yourself when you're at home, if you have to run out to the store or something like that, you're going to already be looking good. You're going to already be in place. You're neat, And so that's one of the things. And, and I just think that, part of how we look, how we appear, it's very important to elevating, because we teach people how to treat us. If somebody see you in an old t-shirt, your hair not done, your nails look bad, why should they give you any special treatment? You don't take care, you don't care enough to take care of yourself. So, why should they, feel obligated to take care of you? They won't, and so, if you want to be around the house, so you're not going to get you some nice silk pajamas. to wear around the house if you don't feel like, if you're going to wear pajamas around the house. Some nice cotton, or even well-made cotton. And actually, I'm going to talk on another episode about even cotton t-shirts. If you get well-made cotton t-shirts, it's a part of or long sleeve tees for part of a capsule wardrobe. Not the kind that once you wash it once, it looks all frayed and anything like that, but we're talking about well-made, and that's part of, a capsule wardrobe. But again, we'll talk about that later. But also, I think that you should, get your nails done, and, nails, meaning your fingernails and your feet done on a regular basis. Make sure they're well manicured. I'm not saying that you have to have, all kind of designs, but you can if that's what you want. And we're not saying you have to have nails down to, 6-inch nails. That's a personal thing. But make sure that they're well manicured and manicured on a regular basis. And I'm somebody that, like I have, they're pretty plain now. Sometimes I'll put a little jazz in it, because I will tell you that some people feel like living an elevated lifestyle means that everything has to be vanilla, and everything has to be toned down. And I'm not someone who subscribes to that. I do think that there's a time and place for everything, and you don't want to be, you're definitely not going to be somebody who's bodacious and carry on like that. But what I'm saying is that I'm a little edgy. Sometimes I like stuff a little edgy. So I believe in allowing people to be who they are. I think that you're best when you're being your authentic self. Now, sometimes you need to change who your authentic self is, because if you want to elevate, but you don't have to take all the fun out of life. You don't have to be just, demure all the time. Definitely demure has its place, and you want to be that way most of the time, but you still can be able to have a little bit of fun, and so if you want a little design on your nails, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all, but that's, making sure your nails are done, your feet are done. And, even if you have to do them yourself, and I'll talk about that. Some things that we do for ourselves, we'll do for ourselves. What your budget can stand, so if you can't get your nails done every week, you can't get your feet done every week or whatever. Some things you just learn to do for yourself, but you got to make sure that they're neat, make sure that they're always done. Sometimes a plain nail, well manicured hand with no polish, with no color on, but just clear polish on, it's better than chipping nails with polish that's chipped. That's one of the worst things. Okay. Another thing you can do for yourself is make sure that your house smells good, that you have good fragrances. Like, I love candles. This candle here is a candle I have. It smells so good. So good. Yelly. This is by Yandy's brand, Yelly. It's called Close to You. And oh my gosh, I can put it up a little closer. You can see. I love this fragrance. And now, you notice how when you go into the nicer hotels, it's always a good fragrance. This can be accomplished not just by candles. I love candles, but it can be accomplished with diffusers or misters. But I always like to have fragrance, some type of candles or some type of diffuser or fragrance in my entryway of my home, in the bathrooms, the bedrooms, and the living room or gathering place. If you have visitors or whatever, and you know that they're going to be in a certain place, light a candle before they come. Light a candle when they're not there for yourself. I even have candles. I have a candle in my study, in my home office, because I love the way that candles make me feel. They make me feel better. And so I love the fragrance. I love good smell. So I have a candle in my office, and definitely in the bedrooms, definitely in the bathrooms, or diffusers or plug-ins, whatever that, whatever you like or you feel like you want to have. Sometimes people don't want to have candles burning in the bathroom because they feel like especially like a powder room or something like that, because they think they might forget and leave them on. If you're that somebody like that, then you might want to use a diffuser, or you want to use a mister, or you might want to use a plug-in. But make sure that your home has this fragrance, because you will feel better about, being in that space. And definitely when I have to be in my office space, I want to feel good about being in that space. Another thing you need to do for yourself is take care of your body, exercise. And I will tell you, I am someone who I never liked to exercise. And I'm going to be honest with you. And I still don't really like it that much. And I think part of it was I was very blessed coming up. I didn't gain a lot of weight. I didn't have to do much exercising at all, and I still had a nice size. And so it wasn't until I got older and had children, and then things change with women. You start saying, "Oh, wait a minute, it's a little bit more than I want right here," and so start exercising. But it wasn't just for that. And it is for that. Don't get me wrong. It is for that. It is for I want my stomach to be flat. I want and it's not, but I'm working on it. But also for health reasons, you want to take care of yourself. I actually got into doing more exercise during the COVID. Me and my husband used to walk every day. We would walk, and I really loved it then. Now I don't do much getting out and walking as much as I did before, because I bought a stationary bike, and I do that because I'm always, I can put it in front of I have it in the TV room, right in front of the TV, and I can watch whatever it is that I want to watch. Typically, I'm watching something educational. Sometimes I watch fashion stuff. Sometimes I watch travel. I just put it in front of the TV so that I can do that, kill two birds with one stone. And so I work out. So definitely exercising. And another thing is eating well. And we're definitely going to get into that more in a future episode, or in future episodes, because when I travel, I eat. I'm a foodie. And I love good places to eat good food, and I love elevated restaurants, 5-star restaurant, Michelin restaurants. Love it, love it, love it. But I'm saying that you also treat yourself sometimes to that lobster or caviar every now and then. I have caviar in the freezer right now. But make sure that you have those things, even in your home, fresh fruit. This guy around the corner from where I live, he sells vegetables on certain days. And when I tell you, I grew up with my father, who had a garden, and oh my God, the fruit! I didn't have appreciation for it then as I do now, because fresh fruit and vegetables from the garden taste so much better than those that you buy from the grocery store. But if you can't get it, just make sure you have fruit, fruit, vegetables, things that are good for you, and make those things for you. And I would say you should dare get in the habit of taking yourself out at least once a month, to a nice restaurant, or maybe once every 2 months. Everything depends on what you can afford to do, or what you like. Some people don't like eating out. My dad was never one who didn't like. He didn't like eating out that much. He liked home cooked meal, I guess, because look, he got a garden, and his vegetables are better than the vegetables that he could get at any restaurant. So he liked eating in, and he liked home cooked meals, and he could cook really well as well. And I cook well. So, but I also love going to restaurants. I mean, I absolutely love 5-star restaurants and Michelin restaurants, and not even just that. I mean, restaurants with good food. So I like when I say the 5-star Michelin restaurants, I like that because I love the ambiance. And we're talking about an elevated itinerary. I like luxury. I love luxury. And so, You know, I like the experience sometimes. And that doesn't mean I would trade taste for experience, because I am a foodie, but I like both. And that's what I try. And I will be in future episodes making recommendations for you for different, because I also travel all over the world, all over the nation. So, you know, when I go to different places, I'll be making recommendations of restaurants that, you know, that I find to be very good, and you might find the same. Now, also another thing when we're talking about taking care of self is smells for your body. We talk about smells for the home, but smells for your body. I think every woman, every classy woman should should always have good fragrances, some fragrances that, you know, that she loves, that works well with her body chemistry, and sometimes even signature scents. I'm not saying you have to have signature scents, because some people like to change. Like I like to change up every now and then or whatever. I'll tell you right now what I'm loving. I am loving YSL Libre. YSL Libre, Prada Paradox, and Tiffany Rose Gold is growing on me. When I first bought it, when I was in the Tiffany store, my daughter and I, we go to New York every year during December. And so we went this year and we had breakfast at Tiffany's. And so while we were in this, you know, after we had eaten, or before we had eaten, we were looking around, and I smelled this fragrance. I was like, let me see. And the rose gold smelled so good. And I got it, I purchased it. And when I came home, it's like, it didn't do the same. For some reason, it didn't give me that same. So, but I, you know, I continued to wear it or whatever. And then after a while, it started to grow. And I think what happened was, when I was there another time, I went and I got the lotion, because I like to layer my fragrances. That makes them last longer. That's one thing about it. The Tiffany Rose Gold does not linger. It does not stay with you. So with the lotion on with it, and they don't make the bath gel, because I've asked several times, and they say they don't make the bath gel. So it's just the lotion and the spray and the perfume. But once I start layering it, I kind of liked it more. It's growing on me. I like it more. But I'll tell you that YSL Libre, I cannot leave out of the house without someone giving me a compliment. Typically several people giving me a compliment on that fragrance. So, and I just love it. And I love Paradox as well. So, so when I get a chance to wear Paradox more, maybe I'll get more compliments on it, because I don't wear that as often as I wear the Libre. But, you know, find a fragrance, you know, definitely make sure, don't leave the house without a fragrance on, you know, it's just something about the fragrance, because that makes you memorable to people. That will make you memorable to people. But not only that, like I said, it starts in the mind. That makes you feel better about yourself. You notice how when you get dressed up and you know, put in perfume, you smell good or whatever, you know, you feel good, you feel better about yourself. And if somebody compliments you, that's just, you know, the cherry on top, you know, that's just adding to what you already feel. You're like, yeah, thank you. You know, but, and I'll tell you, even with my husband, oh my gosh, I bought my husband some Continuum by Toomey. That fragrance, that cologne smells so good. When I tell you, when he has that on, I just like to get next to him and get a whiff. It smells so good. I don't know if it's just his body chemistry. I think it's a really good smelling cologne anyway, but definitely his body chemistry goes well with it. It smells so good. I sometimes imagine, I was like, I don't know if I want you wearing that. You smell a little too good to be going out. You wear that when you go out with me, because I'm sure he gets all types of compliments when he wears that. It smells so good. Matter of fact, I was in kind of in a competition with him, trying to find a fragrance that I like on me as much as I like the Continuum on him. I don't know if I still think he might have me beat a little bit, but I'm still looking. Another thing is massages. I think it's really important that we get massages, regularly. Now, sometimes I get so busy, and that actually has been the case lately, that I don't do them get them as often as I should, and or as often as I'd like to, And I think it's just that's just another thing that makes you feel better about yourself. Is when you get a massage, or when I get a massage. When I'm done, I feel typically really good, And then of course I like to go to really high-end spas to get a massage. But you can get a massage. I'm telling you, you can get a massage at several price points. You can, you can even go to Groupon and get the spa for, I guess $35, $50 or whatever, but do what you need to do, because you know where you are. And if you're not getting massages at all and you go to Groupon and get one for $35, for $35, you won't spend that on do that and see how it makes you feel. Because what we're talking about is elevating. We have an elevated itinerary. And, elevation to somebody might be here, to you might be here, or to another person it might be here. But we're talking about doing things to make us feel good about ourselves, taking care of ourselves. And you know what? You can even get a massage for free sometimes. If you smell good enough and you look good enough and you ask real nice, your significant other might give you a massage for free. So, and if you don't, then hey, like I said, you can get it at whatever price point. And if you got the money, I say if money is not an object, then go to one of the really nice, like the Ritz, Carlton, or Salamander, those places like that, and get you a massage. And don't get me wrong, just because it costs more does not mean it's a better massage. When you try out different places, you'll find out, which ones has a better massage. I remember the best massage I ever got in life was, we were in Jamaica. I believe we were in Jamaica. And I was like, I don't want a man. I want a man to massage me. I always wanted a male masseuse. They said, and I had scheduled it, and they said, well, they only have a woman. I was like, reluctantly, I said, okay. Girl, can I tell you that was the best massage I ever had in my life? It was so good. And so I love to get massages. Matter of fact, I'll probably take you along. I'm going to do a video when I have a trip coming up to the Bahamas, and there's a place, the Four Seasons Hotel. I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to have the massage there or Bahar Mar, which is a newer hotel. It's not new now, but it's a few years old. But the Four Seasons used to be the one and only. And I love that because you could have it where it's outside and you can kind of hear the ocean on outside. But I'll take you along on that. But that that massage is very, very nice. So I'm saying just get you a massage. If you want to do it twice a year, once a year, twice, once a month, however, whatever time frame fits with your lifestyle and with what you are able to do and what you want to do. So, the next thing is, I think that, I know that having a clean car, if you have a car, make sure that your car is clean. Make sure that your car smells good. And you're like, oh, you're just trying to make us do it. Yes. And, I remember my husband got me a membership to a car wash. And it was one of those automatic machines. You go through the car wash or whatever, and for free as often as you want to. And you can use the thing to clean it out. Excuse me. But I took my car there through there a few times, but I didn't necessarily like taking my car through there because one time they damaged the little rim thing that goes over my wheel. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. And so I, I was telling him, I need you to wash my car. And, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. He does a whole lot of things, but he also procrastinates. And so at one point I was like, okay, I can do this myself. So I did it myself. I from time to time wash my car for myself, but I'm actually looking for somebody to do, because I go to a hand wash rather than the automatic place now. But I'm looking for someone to do a mobile car wash that come to me, because that's time I could be doing something else I could be talking to you while they're out there doing my car. So I have a friend, she told me about this person. I haven't called him yet. Well, I think I did call once and he didn't come. So I think I got to find somebody else. But to come to the house and do the car wash. But then I also know that, from time to time I might have to do it myself. And from time to time I might have to go. I found another car wash that's not as harsh, and go there. But, keep a clean car and make sure that your car smells good as well. It's like your home. You invite somebody into your car, give somebody a ride. It should smell good too, because it's a representation of you. Then the next thing I would think that you should do is to get your finances in order. That's something that's very important if you want to have an elevated lifestyle. So I'm not telling you go out here and do all this spending and do all this elevating, because I'm going to talk about doing some real elevation. I'm talking about travel and luxury, buying luxury items and stuff like that. So, but we need to get our finances in order first. I think that every woman, every person should have at least 3 accounts: one for saving, one for investing, and one for operating. And I say operating expenses is that's, paying your mortgage or paying your rent or, whatever your expenses, buying your food. That's the operating expense. The investing is for basically long-term savings and investing. Savings is just for savings for, for the rainy day or for, just build up your money that you can use. Your operating expense should be the one you use daily. But if you have to, you come into something goes wrong with the refrigerator, you take that from your savings, but still have that long-term savings, which is the investment that you don't spend. And some people say, well, I don't have no too much savings. I'm just trying to tread water just to pay bills, But Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, had a saying. He said, don't save what is left after spending. Spend what is left after savings. So pay yourself first. That's what I'm talking about, taking care of yourself first. Pay yourself first. Because if you routinely pay all your bills and at the end of the month you don't have money to save, then you'll never get ahead that way. There's a book, and Automatic Millionaire. Read that book. Automatic Millionaire, and that's operates under the same principle. It talks about basically doing your savings and investment, have it come out first. Like if you got a job and there's they give you they match whatever you put into your retirement or even if just your paycheck, you can have just with a regular. If they don't do any of that, you could have automatically when your paycheck, because most people don't get paychecks anymore, they go direct deposit. When it hits what day it hits your account, you can automatically say, okay, I want X number of dollars to go into this account here, which is your savings or your retirement, or, investment or whatever. And my dad used to say that. He'd say, you can always save a little bit of something. And I used to be like, what is he talking about? I get $5 for lunch for allowance. How much? And I never did, but I got his principle as I got older. And like you can always save something. And the Automatic Millionaire that's one way they talk about how you can automatically. If you say you get you get $2,000 a week from your paycheck, but you got all these other bills and stuff. But if you say, okay, well, I'm going to take $400 out of that, or say 200. Let's just make it easy. Say $200 out of that and save that. If you wait until you done your things, whatever, you won't have $200 to save. So what you do is say, I got $2,000 a week on from this paycheck. I'm going to automatically have them take out $200 a week and put that into my savings or investment or some other account that I'm not going to be messing with. It has to be the investment account. Then you live off of $1,800. And you know what? You'll realize that I can actually live off of $1,800 a week. I thought or even if it's $1,000, whatever it is, I can live off this much. If it's $25 you're putting away, you can live off of $25 less than what you were living off of. But if you wait till after you do the things that you have to do, I got to pay this, or I need to do this, or I need to go to the grocery store. If you do that, then it's not going to be that $25 is not going to be left. The $200 is not going to be left over. So the main theory of the automatic millionaire was to have these things automated, so you don't have to think about it. So they're automatically done. So and then something that's related to the savings is or finance. Well, it is finances. Is tackle your credit issues. If you have any, tackle your credit issues because they say cash is king, but credit, you can leverage credit, and I think it's important that if you're going to have an elevated lifestyle, you need to have good credit. You need to get your credit together, plain and simple, and I know that it's not easy. You don't know how, then that actually leads me to my last point. There's almost everything that you can want to do or try to do is online. So go online, watch something educational. As a elevated woman, elevated person, you need to read something daily or watch something educational daily. Don't spend all your time scrolling, on things that don't add any value to your life. If you want to, elevate your life, then you have to learn new things. And if you got credit issues, you can Google YouTube and find out how to fix my credit. There's you can go to net7.com and find growyourmoney.com. You can find out ways to fix your credit, and once you do, I tell you, once before I made a recent purchased a property recently, I was like, okay, my credit was pretty good, but I wanted it to be very, very good. It was good already. I wanted it to be very good because I wanted to get the best, interest rate that I could. When I tell you I started, something I had to do was pay down some of the credit cards that I had, and because my American Express was up there a little bit because I like luxury things, but the more I paid, the better I felt about paying, and it became even more satisfying to me as I saw my credit score rise and rise, and I was like, and so it's you will feel good about that. You will, when you see your credit score change, you will feel good. So take you a course or whatever. Let me tell you, the best thing you could ever invest in, besides your children, is yourself. And I'm not talking about necessarily money, investing yourself, who you are as a person. So as I said, with the elevation, it begins with yourself. It begins within. It's a mindset. And once you start doing these things, it becomes who you are. It's not like something that I do. I get dressed every day, even when I'm walking around the house. I don't leave out the house without smelling good and looking good or whatever. That's just something I do. No, it's not something I do. That's who I am. That's who I become. And that's who you want to become. I pay my bills on time. I take care of, I have savings. I have investments. No, that's who I am. I am that girl. I am that girl, and you too can be that girl. So, drop a line. Tell us drop a line below. Tell us some things you do or things that you will start doing to take better care of yourself on this journey to elevate your life. Share with us, share with the community. We share back or whatever, because this is something that we can always elevate. And I don't care where you are. I don't care if you way up here, you can still go here. We can always go high. We can always do better. We can always do better, and definitely starting with ourselves. That's where we're going to see the most growth. Because when you feel a certain way, or when you are a certain way, or when you elevate to a certain level, there are certain things that you just will not accept. You will only want the best. You will only want, if you get, you start treating yourself a certain way, you're not going to let anybody treat you worse than what you treat yourself. Oh, no, I'm not that girl. Oh, I'm not, you got me mistaken for somebody who will accept that. I don't accept that. We don't do that. So just begin with yourself and work on yourself. Take care of yourself. Eat right. Do nice things for yourself. And you watch how, if you haven't been doing these things already, any of those of you out there who are, some of my girlies out there, you already do. No, you already do those things, and you do see how people treat you better than the next person. So, but if you haven't, and you don't want to start doing these things, just watch and see. I guarantee you that you'll be treated better by others. So thank you for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, hit the like button and subscribe. That's what we need. We're brand new out here. I'm going to be bringing you so much more information that you can use to elevate yourself, elevate your lifestyle, secrets and tactics and things that people who live regularly on an elevated lifestyle, on an elevated plane, do to get the things that they want and to live a life that is just on another level. So thank you so much. Until the next time, take care.